And good afternoon, y'all. Welcome. Welcome to Friday. Just want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, we're going to do our Facebook Live on depression and anxiety. I really think it's a timely show that we're going to do based on what everybody seems to be going through. It's crazy. Now, today we're going to talk a bit about the spike in COVID cases again. And as I've been saying all along, we cannot look at this thing as an entity that's just sitting back waiting. You know, it's just sitting over there, and if we come to attack it, it'll go away. It's morphed, it's changed, and it's changed at least 3 times already. And the intriguing thing is, it seems, and again, please do not take this as a complete backing to the vaccine. There is a world of problems with that I know, and maybe they'll get it right. Maybe. But when we look at the work that's being done now on this vaccine, it seems to be that the vaccine morphs from east to west. So what started in China and moved through Europe and moved to England and across the Atlantic comes to here. And we're finding now that a new strain of coronavirus called D614G has just emerged in Europe. And now it's become the most common in the world. It wasn't even around back in February and March. Now it's the most common form. So when we look at this and say, what can we do, becomes my frustration. Is that nowhere in any of the literature that's been out there, that bonehead Biden thinks we're going to shut down the country again. And it's in the news today that if he did that, he would probably crash the stock market within a week. So people making those kind of calls are boneheads, quite honestly. We still have not made a concerted effort to change. Those that have changed something, their diet, their exercise regimen, their weight, their medications, something, are those that have built up their immune system and done something. Those that are taking vitamin D, those that are taking buffered forms of vitamin C, those that are taking something to target your immune system, those that are taking N-acetylcysteine, are doing something, are cutting their risk factors. But those that haven't, those that have made no changes whatsoever, and what we're finding is, as we have mandated more and more and more masks, the thing continues to burgeon. We've had 3 record-setting days in a row. So what happened? If we think so highly of masks, why are the numbers still going through the roof? University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. You ever been there? It's a really cool place. A new study published in Science confirms that SARS coronavirus 2 has mutated in a way that enabled it to spread quickly around the world. So now we recognize the fact that this morphed virus, it's again, had time to change over in Asia and Europe, changed itself into a way that it's spreading much more rapidly. Are we doing anything? But a spike mutation may also make the virus more susceptible to the vaccine. And those of you who have heard anything about the work that was done by Pfizer and these other companies, and we'll talk a little bit about one that's coming up here in a minute. The new strain of coronavirus replicates faster and is more transmittable than the virus that originated in China, that spread at the beginning of the pandemic. There were bright spots in the study findings. While DG14G spreads faster, in animal studies it was not associated with a more severe disease, which is what we're seeing. More and more people coming down with it, treating themselves for a couple of days, herd immunity, and going about their business. The strain is slightly more sensitive to neutralization by antibody drugs. Study published November 12th provides some of the first concrete findings about how SARS coronavirus 2 is evolving. November 12th. I've been talking about this since April. The D614G virus outcompetes and outgrows the ancestral strain about tenfold and replicates extremely efficiency in primary nasal epithelial cells, which are a potential important site for person-to-person transmission. It shifted from the lungs to the nose. You know, you see the commercials for that thing that washes out your nose. I wish I could remember the name of it. It's like $90. Might not be a bad idea. This was done by Ralph Baric, professor of epidemiology at UNC Chapel Hill. Baric has studied coronaviruses for more than 3 decades. Oh, we thought this was something new. 30 years now. 30 years they've been studying these. He was integral in the development of remdesivir, the first FDA-approved treatment for COVID. Researchers believe that this new strain of coronavirus dominates because it increases the spike protein's ability to open cells for the virus to enter. These crown-like spikes give the coronavirus its name. You've seen the drawings of them. The D614G mutation causes a flap on the tip of one spike to pop open, allowing the virus to infect cells more efficiently, but creating a pathway to the virus's vulnerable core. Flashback to Star Wars. There was, the Death Star had one little flaw in it, and we managed to inject something in there and it blew up. With one flap open, it's easier for antibodies, like the ones the vaccine is currently being tested, to infiltrate and disable the virus. For the recent study, Baric lab researchers worked in collaboration with virologists from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The original spike protein had a D in its position. It was replaced by a G. Several papers had already described that this mutation makes the protein more functional and more efficient in getting into cells. They found that the mutated virus not only replicates 10 times faster, it's much more infectious. Researchers began looking for replication of the virus in uninfected animals on day 2. In studies they did on hamsters, both viruses passed between animals via airborne transmission. With the mutant virus, the researchers saw transmission to 6 out of the 8 hamsters within 2 days, to all the hamsters by day 4. With the original virus, they saw no transmission on day 2, though all the exposed animals were infected by day 4. Much quicker. We saw that the mutant virus transmits better airborne than original virus. Researchers also examined the pathology of the 2 coronavirus strains. It goes on to say, to maximally protect public health, we must continue to track and understand the consequences of these new mutations on disease severity, transmission, host range, and vulnerability. Protect your nose. This gets back to the thought process of N-acetylcysteine, keeping glutathione levels up, or using a nasal wash on a regular basis. I still find it intriguing that they're saying now close to 95% of us are wearing masks in public. We're still spreading rapidly. Now, I have said before, if we manage to give an ultra probiotic to everybody in the United States, we might slow this thing down to a halt. An enzyme that helps COVID-19 infect the body also plays a role in inflammation and patient outcomes in inflammatory bowel disease, according to a new study. Findings raise the possibility that anti-inflammatory drug therapies for IBD, irritable bowel disease, may aid recovery from coronavirus. An enzyme that helps COVID-19 infect the body also plays a role in inflammation. The multi-site study led by Cedars-Sinai, published today in the Journal of Gastroenterology, focused on the angiotensin-converted enzyme. This is the ACE2 receptor sites that the original virus got in our bodies through. To learn more about how ACE2 affects the body, investigators examined its role in Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. So those that had bowel issues were more susceptible. Further research is needed to delineate the processes involved in ACE2 and what they might mean for treating COVID-19. First co-authors of the study said that they got a 2-year grant to examine the mechanisms that drive inflammation and IBD and COVID-19. Probiotics, probiotics, probiotics. I don't know how many times I can say the same thing over and over again. Now, I kept this video, this YouTube video, short because all I talked about was probiotics. And you better protect yourself. And it's not the stuff you're going to buy in the grocery store. You want more information on the right form of probiotics to protect yourself? 678-228-8900. 678-228-8900. Our website, thenutritionshop.net. God bless you, folks. See you back here soon. Please share this with others.